This morning, you woke up with one clear objective, just one important thing that needed to be done. You have the entire day ahead of you. Plenty of time, you tell yourself. You start by checking your email. Then you scroll social media for a bit. You watch a few videos. You go to lunch. You promise yourself you'll start in the afternoon. But the afternoon slips away with other, nameless tasks. And then, the clock strikes 10 p.m. The important thing is still there, untouched. And a familiar feeling washes over you. A cocktail of anxiety, guilt, and self-loathing. Why am I like this? Why can't I just get it done? If this scene is familiar to you, you are not alone. This is the story of procrastination, one of the most common and painful internal battles of modern life, and most of us have been fighting it all wrong. We believe our enemy is laziness or a lack of discipline. We try to fight it with willpower, with self-criticism. But the more we fight, the more we seem to fail. Why? Because we have fundamentally misdiagnosed the illness. The real enemy is not laziness. Here is the truth that will change how you see this problem. Procrastination is not a time management issue. It is an emotional regulation issue. Let me repeat that. Procrastination is a coping mechanism. When faced with a task that makes you feel uncomfortable, your brain will do everything in its power to avoid that negative feeling by steering you towards an activity that provides immediate relief, like watching videos or scrolling online. It's a short-term negotiation. I will accept greater suffering tomorrow in exchange for a small moment of comfort right now. So, the real enemy isn't laziness. The enemy is the negative emotion that the task triggers. To win this war, we need to know the faces of the dragons that are guarding the treasure of our productivity. There are 4 primary dragons. First, the dragon of fear. This is the most common. It whispers in your ear, what if you're not good enough? What if people laugh? What if you fail? The fear of judgment, of imperfection, of failure is paralyzing. You would rather do nothing at all than to do something and risk being hurt. There is even a fear of success. What if I do too well and people expect more from me? Second, the dragon of boredom. This dragon appears when a task is monotonous, repetitive, and offers no challenge. Your brain craves stimulation, and it will find any excuse to escape a boring task by seeking out more interesting things on the internet. Third, the dragon of frustration and overwhelm. This dragon guards tasks that are large, vague, and difficult. When you look at a huge project and don't even know where to begin, the feeling of being overwhelmed is immense. You procrastinate not because you are lazy, but because you feel powerless. And fourth, the dragon of perfectionism. This is a cousin of the dragon of fear, but it is more subtle. It tells you, don't start yet. You need the perfect plan. You need to wait for the perfect mood, in the perfect space. It turns preparation into a form of procrastination. You spend all day getting ready instead of actually doing. Every time you procrastinate, pause for a second and ask yourself, which dragon am I talking to right now? Fear, boredom, frustration, or perfectionism? Just being able to name your enemy is half the victory. So once you have named your dragon, once you have brought it out of the shadows of vague anxiety and into the light of awareness, you can begin the real work. This is not a battle of brute force, but a contest of wisdom and strategy. I call it the 4-step framework for action. Step 1, as we've established, is to name the dragon. It is the act of mindful awareness that precedes all change. Step 2 is the 10-minute negotiation. This is your most powerful tool against procrastination, especially for the dragons of boredom and frustration. Your brain procrastinates because it sees an infinite, overwhelming task ahead. Write a 20-page essay. Clean the entire house. That's terrifying. Its reaction is to flee. So, you must negotiate with it. Tell yourself, with serious intent, listen, I know you don't want to do this. It seems huge and exhausting. So let's make a deal. Just 10 minutes. I will set a timer for exactly 10 minutes. For those 10 minutes, we will focus completely on the task. After the 10 minutes are up, I give you full permission to stop and do whatever you want with no guilt. The psychology behind this is magical. First, it eliminates the feeling of being overwhelmed. Anyone can do anything for 10 minutes. Second, it's based on a fundamental law of physics. An object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion. The greatest barrier is always the beginning. This 10-minute negotiation is designed for one purpose only: to put the object in motion. And 9 times out of 10, when the 10 minutes are up, you'll find you've built momentum and you want to continue just a little bit longer. You have successfully hacked the barrier to entry. Step 3 is a conversation with your future self. This tool is especially effective against the dragon of fear. Procrastination is the act of prioritizing the comfort of your present self by pushing the burden onto your future self. To break this cycle, we need to build empathy for that future person. Close your eyes for a moment and truly visualize. Scenario 1. The version of you at 11 p.m. tonight. If you continue to procrastinate now, picture the anxiety rising, the heart beating faster, the feelings of guilt and self-loathing. Feel the stress as you have to stay up late to do the work in a state of exhaustion. Now, scenario 2. Picture the version of you at 11 p.m. tonight, after having completed the task this morning. Feel the relief. Feel the pride. Feel the freedom as you relax. Watch a movie or go to bed early with no weight on your shoulders. By making future pain and future pleasure tangible in the present moment, you are giving your brain a powerful emotional reason to act now. You are acting not just for yourself, but out of kindness for the person you will be in a few hours. Step 4 is the Imperfectionist's Manifesto. This tool is designed to slay the dragon of perfectionism. This dragon holds you hostage by demanding unrealistic conditions. The antidote is a liberating sense of permission. Tell yourself this sentence: I give myself permission to create a terrible first draft. Your goal is not excellence. The goal is simply to begin. Your goal is to get the ideas out of your head and onto the page, no matter how messy or clumsy they are. You cannot edit a blank page, but you can always improve a bad draft. Remember this mantra: a finished, imperfect project is infinitely better than a perfect, unfinished one. So, what have we learned today? Procrastination is not a moral failing. It is not proof that you are lazy or weak. It is an emotional signal, a very human defense mechanism to avoid discomfort. Stop using willpower as a hammer to beat down your procrastination. It will only leave you exhausted and filled with guilt. Instead, use awareness as a key. Name your emotions. Negotiate with them intelligently. Empathize with your future, and give yourself permission to be imperfect. Listening to those signals and using wisdom to navigate them, that is how your inner compass works. Thank you for listening.